So the beginning of the year started somewhat slow for Sea of Thieves, but these past months Rare seems to be on a roll with constantly giving us stuff to do and think about. Think of the beginning of a new season, a Golden Glory weekend, a cinematic trailer, or a new adventure like Forts of the Forgotten. So welcome to another episode of The Good, The Bad and The Lore, where I give my thoughts and opinions on the most recent adventures while also explaining some of the lore and showing my own gameplay. With the appearance of the sea forts, the fog has disappeared from most of the islands. For unknown reasons, it still lingers on Golden Sands, and this is also the starting location of this new adventure. You can find Belle in the middle of this destroyed outpost standing in front of the tavern, and she is once again asking for our assistance. She explains that defeating the Soul Flame captains from the previous adventure made the forts appear where the link between worlds was weakest. These forts are now being used to keep the previous inhabitants of Golden Sands prisoner to use in some unknown plot of Flameheart, and it is up to us to sail from fort to fort and rescue them all. And in case you will forget this pretty straightforward goal, Belle gives us some instructions on a map. This map updates when you complete its objectives, but don't forget to also check out the Adventure tab if you want to fully complete this adventure and earn all rewards, which in this case is a pretty nice looking cutlass. This would also have been a great reward to put behind one of the new commendations. And yes, I'm still salty about the latest commendations not having any cosmetic rewards attached to them. When approaching a fort, you will notice some memories of past Reaper ships, and the defenders are now using phantom cannonballs. Don't worry, they still aim like the average stormtrooper. Once on the fort, you are tasked with defeating all defenders, including the new jailer Phantom, who will drop a key to the prison cell below. Each fort holds 3 prisoners, and from our play session they all seem to be random, except Wanda, who can be found in every cell. They also have unique dialogues, and I recommend talking to all of them. I mean, you kinda have to if you want to complete all the deeds, but the dialogue is nice either way. Tina, for example, will offer us free drinks for rescuing her. So thanks Tina, never paid for it before, but I appreciate the gesture. And even though the dialogue can be funny, the NPCs don't really make any sound at all, which is a little disappointing. The most interesting dialogue, however, comes from Wanda, Wanda's sister. Flameheart wanted Wanda to take her place as his new warsmith, but Wanda obviously felt otherwise. Because of her refusal, Flameheart captured everyone from Golden Sands to blackmail her into compliance. And if this wasn't a video game, I would have thought this is a pretty stupid plot. I mean, why does Flameheart want Wanda so much? So he can then blackmail Wanda maybe? Why not choose someone more willing to be a warsmith? Does it need to be a weaponsmith? And why do we only now see the prisoners? I mean, think about it. In the first adventure, the inhabitants of Golden Sands were already kidnapped, but it takes the Reaper faction several weeks to sail them to their prison cells. I mean, what were they doing in the meantime? Sailing circles around the Isle of Wight? Unless I hear something better, this is exactly what happened. But going back to the dialogue, the most important bit of information we get from Wanda is her overhearing the guards talking about Flameheart capturing an Ancient. No additional information is given, but I'm sure this is a nice setup for future adventures. Having 3 people in each cell also explains the ritual on the ground. It shows 3 people in a circle with an enchantment vessel in the middle. I feel it's pretty safe to assume this ritual was put in place to capture the souls of these prisoners. Probably in case Wanda didn't comply, but I could still be wrong. Either way, don't forget to pick up this dark relic, since you need to turn them in at Belle. Unlike the previous adventure, you can also get a good amount of treasures while tackling these forts. And then sell that stone and look back to the zone of the flame. I mean, it's a good thing these treasures aren't marked. But from a gameplay perspective, this adventure does feel pretty similar to just completing a fort, and I'm sure some players won't be happy with this. But if I'm honest, I'm not one of them. For me, these adventures are all about the lore and being invested in the ongoing story. And I am. It also helps that we got a cinematic trailer with this adventure, and I absolutely love these. Speaking about that trailer, it seems that Flameheart's former warsmith still has some attachments to her sister. At least, that's what I make of it. It's still kinda hard to make out emotions with that mask in the way. I wouldn't be surprised if this entire adventure was yet another plot to manipulate Wanda in taking some sort of action. Also, in the same trailer, we also see another female figure standing next to her. Many players seem to think this is Amaranta, a former representative of the Sea Dog faction who doesn't really like the Pirate Lord. And yeah, that's also what I think. The shape of the mask is similar to her face, and they both have a beauty mole on the same spot. How and why she is joining forces with Wanda will probably be answered in future content. And the same goes for the involvement of the Spanish. It's nice that we hear them talk in the trailer, but we still don't know what they are doing in the Sea of Thieves. This adventure is called Force of the Forgotten, and I think this title gives us a pretty nice hint to the explanation of this question. After completing all objectives and turning in an enchantment vessel, Belle gives us her final bit of dialogue. She tells us the inhabitants of Golden Sands will probably find their way back to the outpost. I think this will also mean that Golden Sands will become an outpost again, and I can't wait to see how the repairs will look. I mean, this used to be my favorite outpost, so they better make it look nice again. Belle also tells us these forts were probably only the beginning, and she is now suspecting Flameheart wanting to use the Veil of the Ancients to further bridge the gap between the Sea of Thieves and the Sea of the Damned. According to her, this veil was last seen in the belly of a pale beast, and it seems that our favorite hunter Merrick might assist with this. This pale beast is probably the Shrouded Ghost, so yeah, I'm looking forward to this shark finally being added to the game. So in conclusion, I'm pretty happy with this adventure. Not so much from a gameplay perspective, but it really feels Rare is finally getting in a rhythm of dropping content and keeping us invested in the game. And if they can invoke that feeling to someone who has been playing for 4 years, they must be doing something right. My only real complaint is the timing of this adventure. From a marketing perspective, I feel it would have been better to start the season with this adventure. That way, these forts would have felt like an even bigger expansion to both lore and gameplay, and those forts staying after the adventure would have felt like a really great bonus. Yeah, in terms of content it would be, exactly the same, but from a feels perspective it would have been a bit better. But hey, that's just me. Please let me know how you feel about this adventure in the comments. I still managed to read all of them. And please, if you think I missed something lore-wise, let me know. Or better yet, join the Salty Hippo Discord and we can all have a chat about it. Either way, have fun with this update and I will see you in the next video. Take care.